H-E-L-P.
I know 6 different ways a tie can kill you. Want to hear them all?
Yeah, this is a career consultation, not a safety seminar.
Same thing, both end in casualties.
Do you remember Boogie Bear? Tall, paw dexterity, good with junior bears.
Boogie Bear was not the brightest bulb. Ties are just nooses with extra steps.
November 15th of 08. All was well. Another spree completed when his tie got caught in the paper shredder.
Background checks exist for a reason, unless the behavior is acceptable.
Code Bear? April 23rd, 07. Paw caught an HP laser jet.
Corporate dress code claims another victim.
Kodiak, jammed in paper feeder. Honeybun, tie and feed tray. Bumblefoot, crushed by toner cartridge.
Yep, consulting is good, employment bad.
No ties.
Oh no. Help! Someone help me! Get this thing off!
Okay, Bear. Well, we had some traumatizing incidents earlier, so... Sheesh. I didn't know there were so many ways, I guess we're going to find out right now. The dangers of the tie, the necktie. Alright, but... before we move on to that, let's check out a couple of articles. No, I would not like to see your daily newsletter. Thank you for asking. About the economy, some jobs, some what to do if AI takes your job.
Hey, I'm not here to do that.
Hey, yeah, I know, we hate to spell that. So we're going to go through some steps to cover that type of information. The US economy actually grew by nearly 1 million fewer jobs than previously thought. I don't understand this. Actually grew by 1 million fewer. This is contradiction. I don't understand this. Nick Lichtenberg, what are you doing? It shows AI is automating away tech jobs. Ooh. Okay, well, but there's going to be new jobs. We'll see. The US economy created nearly 1 million fewer jobs over the past year than previously thought. Oh gosh, no. The biggest percentage loss came from industries tied to technology. Let's see. That's a real bummer, honestly. Should check this beforehand. Update data paint a much weaker picture of hiring momentum. Let's look forward. AI's fingerprints on tech layoffs. The biggest hit came in the information industry category that includes internet companies, software publishing, employment, blah, blah, blah. Leisure hospitality, down 1. Wholesale trade, down 1.8. What is it? Still, it was in the entrenchment of the tech and information services that stood out to Adams, raising new concerns about how quickly advances in AI are reshaping the job market. All right. Oh, let's see. Yet struggles with AI adoption have given some business leaders pause with human skills. Okay, what does that even mean, human skills? Emerging as a sorely needed complement to AI adoption. Well, who would have thought? I did. Bear knew. Bear and I knew. The bottom line for Jeffrey Roach, chief economist for LPL Financial, was similar to Adams' takeaway. See, now we've got all these really cool, hyper sophisticated tools, but whoever is going to use them? Bear, this is prime real estate for jobs. Let's see. Keeping middle and upper income consumer afloat. Yeah, but the economy is at the midst of an atypical business cycle. For the story, Fortune used generative AI to help with initial draft. An editor verified the accuracy of the information before publishing. It's still good though, like it's high quality. You can tell, a human touched it, kissed it, stroked it softly. It is a little short. I don't know what the cadence is for these. I'm not here to judge. I don't write articles, but it's good. I thought it was good. Thanks, Nick. This Stanford computer science professor it's by the same gentleman. Okay, here we are again. Hello, welcome. Went to written exams 2 years ago because of AI. He says a student insisted on it. What? I don't understand the title of that. What does that mean? Okay, did AI write your title too? Because I don't understand this. What's going on here? Anyway, written exam 2 years ago. He says his students insisted on it. Okay, very cool classes. Stanford University computer science professor Joe Lesovic. I'm so sorry. I know I just destroyed that. Is no stranger to rapid technological change. A machine learning researcher for nearly 3 decades, went on to his 2nd decade of teaching. Bless you. Thank you. He's also the co-founder of Kumo, a startup with 37 million in fundraising to date. Oh man. Hats off. to you, sir. But 2 years ago, as the latest wave of artificial intelligence began reshaping education, Lesovic told Fortune he was rocked by the explosion of his field into the mainstream. He said Stanford had such prestige in computer science program that he felt as if he sees the future as it's being born, or even before the future is born. Wow. Fun. But the public release of GPT-3 was jarring. Why? We had a big, existential crisis among students a few years back when it kind of wasn't clear what our role in this world was. Well, is in this world. Oops, sorry. Sorry, Lesovic. Well, he said it seemed like a breakthrough in AI would be exponential to the point where it will just do research for us. So what do we do? Well, you think of what you want to research. I think that is, because, well, I don't know. Is the AI going to tell you what to research? He said he spent a lot of time talking with students at the PhD level about how to organize themselves, even about what their role in the world would be going forward. It was existential and surprising. Do a stop, Bear. This is like right up your alley. It came out of the group, he said, especially that teaching assistants, the previous generation of computer science undergraduates, their idea was simple. We do a paper exam. We return back to the snail mail. AI as a catalyst for change. Lesovic, a prominent researcher at Stanford, whose expertise lies in graph structured data and AI applications in biology, that sounds fascinating, recounted the pivot with a mixture of surprise and thoughtfulness. Historically, his classes had relied on an open book take-home exams where students could leverage textbooks and the internet. They couldn't use other people's code and solutions, but the rest was fair game. As large language models like OpenAI's GPT and GPT-4 exploded onto the scene, students and teaching assistants alike began questioning whether assessments ought to be handled differently. Now it's a lot more work for him and his TAs. He said, saying the exams take much longer to grade. They all agreed it was the best way to actually test student knowledge. The age of AI Lesovic, an AI veteran, has surprised him by putting a higher workload back on himself and other humans. Imagine such a thing. Imagine such a thing. I think that's telling us that AI is going to create more jobs. We might not know what that looks like right now, but I smell it coming. I think it's going to be a lot more bears doing a lot more work. Okay. His 400-person classes feel like an audience at a rock concert. That's pretty neat. But he insisted he's not turning to AI for help synthesizing and analyzing all the exams. Wow. They hand grade. A student-driven solution. His solution sits squarely in the middle of a raging debate about how AI is changing higher education, as reports of rampant cheating had led to many colleges to ban the use of AI. How do you even do that? I don't know. Other professors are turning back to the paper exam, receiving the fabulous blue books from many of the 90s kids' memories. One New York University professor even suggested gifting medieval, embracing ancient forms of testing, such as oral and written examination. Well, there's one way to do it. Can't really fake that yet. The AI's professor solution for the AI age is likewise to turn away from AI for testing. Okay. I mean, you know what? I respect that. Because if you're saying, hey, everybody else, don't use AI, and I also won't, at least you are living up to your standards. When asked if he was worried about students cheating with AI, he posed another question. Are you worried about students cheating with calculators? It's like if you allow a calculator in your math exam. You will have a different exam if you say calculators are disallowed, likening AI to a calculator. He said AI is an amazingly powerful tool that kind of just emerged and surprised us all, but it's also very imperfect. We need to learn how to use this tool. We need to be able to both test human beings, being able to use a tool, and humans being able to think by themselves. Brilliant. Yes. Good stuff. Good stuff. Bear, your turn. What is an AI skill and what is a human skill? What is a human skill? Let's see. Jobs market is sending a message on AI implementation that equates to something like a response from a magic 8-ball. Reply hazy. The federal job reports revealed anemic growth since the spring, mostly recently disappointing expectations. Oh man, I'm looking at astronaut job. Gotta do the training, remember. We'll get you there. Most economists attribute the lack of hiring to uncertainty about the presidency. Oh gosh, guys, I got to proofread this. For another perspective, the freelance marketplace Upwork just launched its inaugural monthly hiring report, revealing what non-full-time jobs are being rewarded by the market. The answer is AI skills are super in demand, and even if companies aren't hiring full-time employees, they are piling into highly paid and highly skilled freelance labor. Despite the softer overall labor market, Upwork finds companies are strategically leveraging flexible talent to address temporary gaps in the workforce. The large businesses driving a 31% growth in what Upwork calls high-value work, contracts greater than 1,000 on the platform. Smaller and medium-sized businesses are piling into AI skills, with demand for AI and machine learning leaping by 40%. But Upwork also sees growing demand for the kinds of skills that are falling between a human who is good at collaborating with AI. Upwork says AI is amplifying human talent. There we go. By creating demand for expertise in higher value work, most visible across creative and design, writing. Writers where there's still hope, and translation categories. Translation, I could really see that. Yeah. So much nuance. One of the top skills hired in August was fact checking. Wow. Given the need for human verification of AI outputs. This is so cool. Wow. Okay. This is such a great article. A balance. Wow. The first one was so short. This was like a novel. Okay. We're actually seeing that the human skills coming into premium, she said, adding, she thinks people are realizing AI hallucinates too much of the time to completely replace human involvement. I think that people are seeing now that they're using AI generated content is that they need fact checking. Yeah, very true. Or you use data that's clean and yours, and it's legitimate. So, that might lessen the burden of fact checking. I think we almost need to reskill the workforce. Human expertise matters much more than it ever did before. Wow, fascinating stuff. He added the entry-level issues, the crux of the problem, because how are young workers supposed to get the domain expertise required to effectively collaborate with AI? I think it goes back to teaching, reskilling, thinking of our curricula. Adding colleges have a role to play, but organizations do as well. He asked a rhetorical question. How are they supposed to have senior skilled workers if they're not taking any young workers taking the time to train them? Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know. I think if AI knows how to do something, you might just ask it for help along the way until you kind of learn that skill set. Maybe. Wait, how did I get here? Okay. AI took your job. Bear, that's you. Can retraining help? Study finds benefits to displaced workers even in occupations at risk of automation. I'm really trying to dig for the gems that say we'll be okay. All right, that we're gonna be okay. That we're gonna get the training. That we're gonna be fine. Okay, are there any recommendations that displaced workers could take away from these findings? I would cautiously say our findings seem to suggest that for these AI exposed workers going through job training programs, going for jobs that are less AI exposed tend to give them a better outcome. That said, the fact that we do see positive returns for all these groups suggests that there's probably other factors that need to be considered. For instance, what are the specific types of training that they're receiving? What kinds of skills are they targeting? There's an immense heterogeneity across the different job training centers throughout the country in terms of quality, intensity, and even the types of occupations that they can offer services for. There's a lot of potential future work to consider how these factors might affect outcomes. Oh, fun. You also created an AI retrainability index to rank occupations that both prepare workers well for jobs that are more AI exposed and also earn more than their past occupation. What did the index reveal about which occupations are most retrainable, guys? Yes, this is what I wanted. We wanted to have a way of measuring by occupation how retrainable workers are if they were to be displaced. Our index ranking shows that depending on where they're starting from, you might have more or less capability of being retrained. Oh, geez, yeah, that's true. For highly AI exposed roles. The only 3 occupational categories that had positive index value, meaning that we consider these to be occupations that are highly AI retrainable, were legal, 1, computation and mathematics, 2, and arts, design, and media. What? I would have not guessed that. So someone coming from a legal profession is more retrainable for high-paying, high AI exposed roles than someone coming from, say, a customer service job. Overall, we found 25 to 40% of occupations are AI retrainable, which to us is surprisingly high. Yeah, that's exciting. You might think that if someone is coming from a lower wage job, they might be really hard to retrain them for a job that has more AI exposure. But what we found is that there may be actually a large potential for retraining. Neat, Bear. Look at that. You can help people train. Oh man, this is such a bummer too. I need to read the good stuff. Where's the light at the end of the tunnel? Employment or wages, fears of collapsing income related to AI may be overblown. I think so. If we paid attention to the previous two articles, if this is true, they write AI may have larger effects on employment than on wages, at least to begin with. Interesting. Finally, the Stanford team argues that these facts are largely consistent across various samples, with patterns and data appearing most acutely starting in late 2022, around the time of rapid proliferation of generative AI tools. The authors caution that while these findings are early, their large-scale real-time dataset provides some of the first direct empirical evidence that AI is shifting job opportunities away from America's entry-level workers. God dang it. No. Are we going to bridge this gap there? Are we going to bridge this gap? The study repeatedly stresses it is assessing the beginning of what it calls the AI revolution, but the much publicized economic anxiety of Gen Z is beginning to show up in employment data, confirming that yes, something is going on here. French test. I gotta read something. We gotta find something. You know what? This might just be a doom episode, honestly. This is gonna be my sad, wow, boom episode, and then the next one, we're going to talk about how Javon's paradox is going to give us all even more jobs than we could have ever imagined. All right. And that's it for Bear and I. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day.